She WhatsApped me a photo at the departure gate. My best friend's arms wrapped around her waist, captioned, "Finally free, off to Dubai with a real man while you rot in your pathetic life. By the way, emptied your savings for our honeymoon suite, 50K well spent. Your mom's inheritance paid for his Rolex. P.S. I'm pregnant, and it's not yours. Your emergency fund bought us a suite at Burj Al Arab." I just smiled and didn't reply. Tonight, my phone exploded with 117 messages. "Baby, it was a joke. He abandoned me." Her sister called 30 times. Her mom, "How could you do this to her?" I got the message at 6:32 p.m. I was standing in line at the pharmacy, waiting to pick up my migraine meds after a 14-hour shift at the hospital. My phone buzzed. One image, one caption. That's all it took. Her, standing at the departure gate at Delhi airport. Her hair curled, smile wide. My best friend, well, ex-best friend now, stood behind her, arms wrapped around her waist, grinning like he'd won the damn lottery. Finally free, off to Dubai with a real man while you rot in your pathetic life. By the way, emptied your savings for our honeymoon suite, 50K well spent. Your mom's inheritance paid for his Rolex. P.S. I'm pregnant, and it's not yours. Your emergency fund bought us a suite at Burj Al Arab. That was it. No preamble. No warning. Just a grenade disguised as a text message. The pharmacist called my name. I picked up the bag, nodded, and walked out without a word. I didn't reply to her message. Didn't scream. Didn't rage text. Didn't even call my best friend to ask why. I just sat in my car, leaned back against the headrest, and exhaled. Funny thing? I felt lighter. She thought she broke me. She had no idea. We'd been together for 6 years. Engaged for 8 months. She used to say I was too steady, too predictable. I thought it was a compliment. Turns out it was her slow burn excuse to cheat and call it growth. I had introduced them. Aman was my closest friend since high school. He was the one who helped me move into my first apartment, who crashed on my couch during med school breaks, who toasted at our engagement party. He even hugged me the night before I proposed. They'd been planning the trip for months, I later learned. And the money, all of it, $50,000 was what I'd saved over 6 years, mostly by skipping vacations, cooking at home, and working double shifts. My late mother had left me a small inheritance, and I'd used some of it for a fixed deposit in her name. Guess who had the access code? I didn't block her, didn't delete her number. I just waited. And oh, karma? She has perfect timing. Tonight, exactly 3 days later, my phone lit up like a Christmas tree. 117 messages. For missed video calls. 30 missed calls from her sister. Her mom texted me paragraphs that started with, "How could you do this to her?" The irony? Apparently, Mr. Real Man ditched her the moment they landed. Booked the room with my card. Slept with someone else the second night. Took her passport. Took the Rolex. And vanished. Last message she sent? "Please, baby. It was a joke. A stupid prank. He said it'd be funny. I was gonna tell you it was fake. Just, please call me. Please come get me." I didn't, because while she was flying first class to Dubai, I was quietly meeting with a lawyer. And in 72 hours, everything changes. She must have figured I'd cave. Because her first call came just 3 hours after that final message. Around 2 a.m. I was at home, sipping tea, watching the rain. The same apartment she once filled with candles and Spotify playlists. Now quiet except for the occasional ping of another message. Blocked numbers. Private calls. Unknown WhatsApp profiles. She was trying everything. I didn't pick up. By 7 a.m., her sister called from her own number, this time with a new strategy. "She's pregnant, you heartless bastard. You can't just abandon her like this." I stared at the phone. Let that sink in. "She's pregnant. You heartless bastard. Pregnant. Not mine." Her words, not mine. Let me rewind just a bit. 2 days after she sent that departure gate masterpiece, I went to the bank, froze our joint accounts, flagged every credit card, canceled her access to my emergency fund, moved my remaining savings to a trust account under a different bank. Thank God I'd never put her name on the property deed. Then I called a locksmith. By the time she landed, heartbroken, passportless, and ghosted by her Dubai prince. She couldn't even get into the building. She called the doorman crying, said I was her fiancé. He told her, "Sorry, ma'am." He said if anyone by your name shows up, where to call security. That evening, I had dinner with my mom's attorney. Turns out the Rolex she bragged about paid with a card tied to the estate account. Fraud. I filed a police complaint for misappropriation of inheritance funds and identity theft. Her shopping spree in Dubai? Her own digital footprint is the receipt. My lawyer smiled when I showed him the messages. He said, "She basically confessed to everything in writing. And if she's pregnant, that might even help you if she tries to claim anything later." Day 4. She posted a selfie on Instagram, captioned "Women always rise." But her eyes were swollen. Her sister reshared it and tagged me. "You were supposed to protect her. Instead, you threw her to the wolves." Comments were split. Some white knights defended her. Others dug deeper. Screenshotted her original WhatsApp to me. The one with the "finally free" and "your mom's inheritance paid for his Rolex." Someone posted, "Sis, you confessed to robbing the man and cheating on him in the same breath. What exactly are we defending here?" The post vanished in an hour. But the internet never forgets. That night, she stood outside my apartment. I knew because the doorman called me again. She's crying. Says she doesn't have anywhere else to go. I didn't go down, but I watched her from the window, slumped on the steps, mascara streaked, still wearing the Dubai hoodie. She stayed for 3 hours. Then a cab picked her up. I'm not angry anymore. I'm grateful, because the moment she left, something in me reset. And now that I'm done reacting, it's my turn to act. By the end of the week, she went from finally free to full-on public meltdown. Instagram, deleted. Her sister, suddenly silent. Her mom, still texting me like I was the one who ran off with someone's best friend and a dead woman's savings. But here's the thing. I'd spent the last 6 years building a life with her in it. I was quiet, steady, maybe even boring in her eyes. But what she didn't realize was, I was also methodical. I don't just let chaos happen. I prepare for it. And this chaos? Oh, I was ready. A week after her little romantic heist, a courier arrived at the cafe she was now crashing in. It was a thick envelope, white, sealed tight. My name wasn't even on it, just hers. She opened it expecting, what? A note? A ring? Maybe a crumpled apology? Instead, she found a formal cease and desist letter regarding defamation and harassment, a bank report flagging unauthorized withdrawals from an estate account, a copy of the FIR filed under her name for financial fraud, a statement from the jewelry store confirming the Rolex was purchased with stolen funds, a termination of engagement notice, signed and notarized, and, my personal favorite, a prenup agreement draft she once laughed at and refused to sign, now with her signature forged by Aman with handwriting samples to prove it. Later that evening, she called from a friend's number. I picked up. Silence. Then a sniffle. "Please, you don't have to do all this. I made a mistake. Okay? I didn't mean for it to go this far. He said it would be fun. He said you were never going to fight for me anyway." That last line stuck with me. You were never going to fight for me anyway. She was right, because what she didn't understand was, I wasn't fighting for her anymore. I was fighting for me. Aman, gone. Last anyone heard, he'd maxed out her card at a casino in Abu Dhabi and fled to Singapore. His family denied knowing his whereabouts. I sent them a screenshot of the Rolex post. Their reply? "We warned you." Turns out, I wasn't the only person Aman had screwed over. A mutual friend texted me, "Bro, you seriously dodged a missile. He owes like 12 lakhs in gambling debt. Your Rolex probably bought him one more night at the table." People at the hospital started to notice the change. I was sharper, calmer, lighter. My senior consultant pulled me aside and said, "You used to look like you were carrying the weight of the world. Now you walk like you finally set it down." I didn't say much, just smiled. Because the truth is, I wasn't just moving on. I was building something better. A week later, her sister showed up at my door, tried to guilt me, said, "She's sleeping on couches, eating scraps, pregnant and alone." I looked her in the eye and said, "She chose this. She just didn't think I'd let her live with it." And then I handed her one last envelope. Inside, proof that the baby wasn't mine. A legal release form stating I would not be responsible for any child support, custody, or parental claims. And a signed statement from my lawyer, affirming I was done. She texted me 2 nights later. "I miss you." I didn't reply, because she mistook my silence for weakness. What she didn't realize was, my silence was closure. 6 months later, I'm writing this on a Sunday morning, the kind she used to love. Filtered sunlight, the smell of strong coffee, and soft music playing in the background. I'm sitting at a new cafe in a new apartment, in a part of the city we never visited together. The old keys she once used to carry, buried somewhere in a drawer, rusting along with the life I left behind. The last time I saw her, she was standing outside the courthouse, holding a file of papers with trembling fingers, pregnant, alone, eyes bloodshot, not just from crying, but from months of losing control. She didn't recognize the man walking past her. I was dressed differently, hair cut shorter, shoulders held straighter. No more slouched posture or dead-eyed exhaustion. No more trying to be enough for someone who only saw me as Plan B. She called out my name once. I didn't turn around. I was there for a hearing, the estate fraud case. And while she and her lawyer tried to argue emotional stress, confusion, and manipulation by a third party, my lawyer brought receipts, actual receipts, dates, purchases, screenshots of messages, videos from Dubai hotels, statements from banks, testimonies from the store where Aman picked up the Rolex, even CCTV footage from the airport, her smiling, handing over my card, tapping it like it was hers. The judge didn't even let the defense finish. She was ordered to return the stolen funds, pay damages, and was given a court-mandated financial counseling order. The pregnancy? Irrelevant to the fraud. Her lawyer asked for leniency, citing her precarious mental state. The judge looked her dead in the eye and said, "This isn't about heartbreak. It's about theft, deception, and arrogance. Actions have consequences." I walked out while her mother screamed at me in the corridor. "You could have forgiven her. You could have helped. She loved you." Forgiven? She loved my savings account, my steady job, my silence, the way I never raised my voice when she insulted me in front of friends, the way I quietly took care of bills, planned trips she'd later cancel, and covered rent when she wanted to follow her passions. Love? No. Love doesn't look like betrayal with a smile and a boarding pass. Aman was eventually caught in Singapore, detained under charges of passport fraud and theft from another woman. Not even joking, he repeated the exact same script with someone else. Rolex, fake promises, Dubai getaway. It wasn't original, just efficient. His own family disowned him. One of the last texts I received from his number wasn't even from him. It was from a lawyer in Singapore asking if I'd be willing to testify as a witness in an international fraud case. I said yes, because I may be quiet, but I'm not weak. And her? Well, here's what I know. She gave birth. The baby's father is still unknown. Aman predictably ghosted forever. She moved back in with her mother. She tried starting a GoFundMe for single mothers recovering from toxic relationships. People found her old posts. Screenshots resurfaced. The campaign was taken down. Her sister deleted every trace of me from social media, but mutual friends? They remember, especially the ones who called me last month to say, "Bro, I'm sorry. We should have known." And me? I took a break from relationships, focused on my residency, started therapy, began hiking on weekends, bought a used guitar, rediscovered my love for writing. Funny, right? You can spend years living with someone and forget what your own hobbies were. I reconnected with a few old friends, the kind she used to call boring because they had boundaries and goals. One of them, Nina, we grabbed dinner last week. She listened, didn't flinch at the messy parts, didn't offer pity, just presence. At the end of the night, she said, "You didn't deserve what happened, but you earned what comes next." What comes next? Peace. Not revenge. Not karma. Not even closure. Just peace. Because I finally understood. Some people don't leave because they're unhappy. They leave because they think you won't. And when you do, when you walk away without a word, without a second glance, without the need to explain, that silence becomes the loudest sound they'll ever hear. And you finally hear your own voice again. Louder, clearer, free.